have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, misrepresented. I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws. But
all we had to do was wait it out.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing, and you had the battle and it was fun, and then you moved on.
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this point.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna say it. I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture.
By the bottle, it's a damn shame what you're not though. Me, slick like a gato, fucking Jay-Z.
Glean from one ring. Yo, let me let y'all people know one thing. There's one life, one love, so there can only be one king.
What is good, y'all? What's up, Triborough? I think Triborough's freezing up a little bit. Going frozen up.
Now?
I see you now. Anyways, tonight we're gonna have a couple topics. Yeah.
Okay.
Tonight we got a couple topics. Classic top 5 classic 30-year anniversary of rap albums. We are excluding Reasonable Doubt, though we will touch on it, and we are excluding Nas's It Was Written because let's face it, those are the albums of 1996. Couple of mine that I have in my top 5 you'll probably enjoy as well. Couple with Triborough, we probably won't have the same list. I think I know the direction you're going and Try. You're gonna be naming them underground legends and shit. We're gonna be touching on Usher a little bit, his thoughts on it. Yeah. And we're also gonna be touching on Jay-Z and his latest debacle that he's got going on. But how do you feel about Stove God Cooks with his label interrupting yet again? Try
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I heard you and then it just started being choppy. I don't know. You hear me now? Are you good?
Yes, sir. Still having issues?
I think for Stove God, yeah, because I'm hearing like a delay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think for Stove God, there's label things going on with Baby Grand Records that he needs to sort out. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think maybe he might need to. Maybe he owes them an album or something contractual that he has to straighten out with them. My whole thing is like, why promote the album Swiss Beats and then only to find out that it's not coming out today? You know what I'm saying? I just felt like if he didn't cross the dotted lines with Baby Grand, then he shouldn't have been promoting the album, telling people it's coming out today. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like, that's bad business on his part and Swizz, and he got to get that whole thing sorted out with them. I don't know, like I felt like maybe that's why I was hoping it was coming out, because I know like we've seen this before with labels where they, with an artist trying to leave their old label behind and then they can't. And the Clips last year, they had issues with Def Jam, but they sorted it out with with the help of Jay-Z and was able to leave Def Jam and come out with their album, and it turned out to be the best album last year. But I saw the interview that Stove God gave with Ebro on Apple Music, and he's telling Ebro that he got advice from Jay. So what advice exactly did you get from Jay? Because whatever advice you got, it didn't help him, come out with the album, you know what I'm saying, and clear whatever issues he had with his former label. So I want to know exactly what is it that he owes Baby Grand.
That, and rather than taking advice from Jay, he should have just got Jay involved, period. Because I feel like Jay's the only one that can kind of get him out of whatever cluster he's in, you know. So I just think that all this anticipation, this hype, like I was talking to Ray earlier. Ray woke up at midnight just to check for the album. I was up to check for the album and nothing. So you built up all this anticipation yet again. This is about the third time. And now, you know, his label is blocking him. So whatever he's got going, he should have got Jay involved a long time ago, and they probably could have got him out of that contract. And I think he would have been able to do it quickly. You know, Jay has solved a lot of hip hop issues, and I think it's just they respect him as an artist and a legacy and somebody that had to do all this stuff pretty much, yes, with Dame Dash and all that, but pretty much by himself. You know, he's the rapper. He was the one that got the money to come in first. You know, it wasn't Dame Dash, it was him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just think whatever he's got going on, he needs to just shut down the project altogether until he gets it all sorted out. Because if they block him again, the fans are going to get so pissed. You know, I was already mad. I see it all over Instagram.
I agree.
You know, and here he is. Like, imagine how he feel. This is his art.
Right.
You know, this is his money. And then labels always have to try to do that. You know, I could see if the man had, you know, he's passed away and whoever owns his estate gets to say something, then that's a little different. But he's still here. He's trying to provide for his family, and here we go with the labels blocking him. So I just think it's real messed up. I don't like that at all.
And it seemed like he added it seemed.
Go ahead.
It seemed like he added some features to the album. He had a J Kiss on song. He had song with Benny. And I saw like some other features on it. So like before it was just Pusha and it was Westside, but now he has Benny, he has Jada. There's a girl on one of the songs that's like a singing. So maybe that was part of the why it was the album delay. But I mean, I just want to hear the album. Like he got to find a way to bring it out, man. Like sort out your label issues with Baby Grand Records so that everybody can hear this album.
Again, the anticipation, the hype, Swiss hyping it up, all the interview, you know, the interviews he was doing, and then nothing. It's kind of almost like a J. Cole thing minus the label issues. You know, he kept promising that album that he came out with months prior and just kept building and adding, and which led to the project that we got. But this isn't Stove God's last album. So, but with all this frustration, I don't even know why he would want to continue with even dealing with anybody. You know, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
You can get it on your own. You know what I mean? Like, he's already out there. He's already known. He could drop on stream anytime he wants. It still probably make money. So just not the kind of money he could, or start, a website to merchandise a CD. You know, you can only buy the CD here, you know, and then he's making the pure profit. But I mean, that's what Griselda had to do for the longest while they were going through all that BS with all the different labels they were dealing with. So until they finally became Griselda Records, you know. So I don't know, man. I hope he figures out something.
Yeah.
Next subject, Usher. What do you feel about his thoughts on Diddy and how he's pretending like Diddy never did nothing to him?
Usher, I mean, on his part, you know, I expect him to be loyal to Diddy because, you know, he did you know, bring him in the game with his first album, and he was a mentor to him. But I mean, we all know the stuff that Diddy did, you know what I'm saying? And you know, they had him and Justin Bieber had an argument supposedly I think it was at the Grammys with the Oscars, and people were saying it was because of Diddy and what he allegedly did to Justin Bieber. But I mean, I expect that from Usher because he's looking at it from coming up in the game and you being mentored by a veteran like Diddy, and he's seeing and he's hearing all the things that people are saying about him, and I feel like he's coming to his defense, but at the same time, it's like you got to know the evidence against Diddy and why he's in prison, and why people feel the way they do about this man now after all these years, and no, nothing will ever take away what he's done, musically. Like he did do a lot for the game, but in his personal life is what he has to answer for, and that's why he's in prison. He's not in prison for creating bad boy records. He's not in prison for giving us some classic artists like Notorious B.I.G. rest in peace, and Craig Mack rest in peace, Black Rob rest in peace, Mace. You know what I'm saying? He's in prison for the things that he's done in his personal life, and I think people, they can't seem to separate what these people have done professionally and what they've done in their personal life. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time with R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a GOAT. He is might be the best in R&B. But what he did in his personal life, that's what he's answering for in prison right now. Not what the classic albums he came out for. Not for 12 Play, not for Chocolate Factory. It's what is the stuff he did in his personal life. So I get it. Usher, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if he has every right to defend Diddy, but I feel like the writing is on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people that could have came to Diddy's defense and they haven't. And why is that? You know what I'm saying? So he has to be honest with himself. Like, yo, like I'll Be Sure was with Diddy longer than Usher. You know what I'm saying? Like creatively. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like it seems like everybody that's around Diddy, they either end up dead or they end up in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And Usher got to wake up and just look at what's going on. Like, yes, I get it. He's your mentor. He's saying that nothing was done to him. We don't know that. He could be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't there. I gotta take Usher's word because I wasn't there. I don't know if he was done any harm by Diddy, but I'm just saying, like, to come out and to defend this man right now, I just think it looks bad for Usher.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, it's kind of like when Hulk Hogan died. Everybody decided they were going to trash him, but you could trash the person, but the legacy that is left behind, and you don't know. People act like they know these celebrities like personally. You know what I mean? You only know what you hear. And I've always separated. I never stopped listening to Michael Jackson, never stopped listening to Prince. I never stopped listening to R. Kelly. The music that they've created over the decades and generations that they have lasted, and Michael is going to get another boost because Michael's coming out. So that's going to elevate his musical genius even more because his legacy is still living on. And now, what I find funny is how all of a sudden Michael went from being this outrageous, alleged pedophile and all that, right? But now these Epstein files came out, and now everybody's making these wild accusations of, he did the Neverland Ranch to save kids from Epstein. What? Wait a minute. What? Like, so it's make up your mind. Either he's doing this and you all hate him, but now all of a sudden y'all love him because you think he built Neverland to save kids from the Epstein files. Yo,
that's what I'm talking about.
People's like allegations are so wild. It is out of control. Out of control. It's just like when Tropic Thunder came out, nobody was mad at Robert Downey Jr. for doing blackface because I didn't have a problem with it, and I'm half black. Nobody I knew, all the hardcore, I'll shoot you in the face people, didn't have a problem with it. But everybody had a problem with Ben Stiller playing a mentally challenged character. And now, 20 years later, here we are talking about how it was wrong for Robert Downey Jr. to do blackface. Shut up. It's a movie. These are things that happen. It's music. He's not doing it in his person. Now, if we found out that he's doing blackface and going into the bedroom with a fake prosthetic, whatever, and doing his thing, it's his private life. Who cares? Who cares? He just puts out good movies. You know what I mean? So his legacy will never die when it comes to movies. I'll never stop watching Kevin Spacey. He makes fantastic movies. You know, I don't care about who he is personally. And that's how I've always done it. And that's how everybody should do it. But everything is clicks and likes, clicks and likes, clicks and likes. So, yeah, you know, I agree, Kenny. Music is just that. My music. What's going on, Echo? Uncharted Tunes. What's going on? Samuel, how you doing? And of course, our brother's always in here. Justin, watching out for the chats. Okay, Jay.
What up,
All right. So I have to watch this interview, and I'm, you know, Reasonable Doubt, 30-year anniversary. But to say that he thinks that battle rap doesn't need to be in the culture anymore, I highly disagree. The only one thing that he did say is that now it is a little bit different. Back in the days, all we really had when we were trying to look out for the Nas response, the J response, the Nas response, the J response, you know, the 50 response, Ja Rule's response were mixtape, radio, MTV, and BET. Those were like our outlets. We didn't have Twitter, Facebook, social media. We didn't have any of that. So now what he was saying is that now it's a little bit different because the second you say something, make an allegation, it's like wildfire. 1.1 million views because everybody's saying it. So I think that's what he's saying. It doesn't make sense now because Jay-Z is the last dude to talk about going too far. You know what I mean? But I think if this battle with Jay and Nas happened now, it would be 10 times worse than it was back then because the characters would get assassinated on social media. So I think that's what he was talking about. And then the allegations. What Jay was saying was true. We don't know about Drake's allegations that Kendrick made towards him. So, you know, I kind of see where he's coming from. But as far as battle rap not needing hip hop, the foundation was built on battle raps, DJing, battle raps. And still to this day, all Queensbridge is still mad at KRS-One for making one of the greatest diss songs, The Bridge Is Over. It still stings artists today. So battle rap deserves to be in this culture, in this space, in this music. Nobody says nothing when you know, Garth Brooks punches other country singers in the back. You know what I mean? It's all good, but when a rapper does it, it's like the biggest news hype ever. So, I think it's just crazy.
My thing was when he was doing, you know, when he was naming the 4 elements of hip hop, he didn't mention MCing. He said battling.
Yes,
that's not the same thing.
No.
MCing is number one. That is the main part of the 4 elements. Battling is a part of the culture. But he didn't say that. He didn't say MCing. He said battling, right? So if you consider battling one of the 4 elements of hip hop, why would you want to get rid of it? Why wouldn't you want people to do it? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if we have graffiti and we don't see enough graffiti within the culture now, that's like okay, well we got graffiti, but we don't see it, so that we're not gonna count that as one of the elements. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like a lot of the young artists coming up now, they're not going to listen to Jay-Z. They know who Jay-Z is, but I don't think they're gonna respect them enough to be like, okay, well, if I got beef with this other young artist, I'm not gonna battle him because Jay-Z said so.
Oh
You know
no,
what I'm saying?
it's still gonna go on.
Cool. It's cool. Like at this point, right? It's cool at this point now. When you look back after 25 years and be like, my younger self, I was battling Dipset, I was battling Nas, I was battling J.O. Felony, so many other countless battles he's been a part of, and now the wiser old man Jay says, you know what? We don't need to battle no more. That's in the past. No, that's a part of the culture. This is the reason why people wanted J. Cole to battle Kendrick, and J. Cole said, you know what? That's my friend. I'm going to apologize and bow out. That's not a part of the culture. We need you to battle, especially when people put you a part of the big three. So if you're part of the big three, then show us that I belong right up there with Kendrick and with Drake, and J. Cole didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, battling is always going to be part of the culture. The thing about it is, even before social media and the internet, we had Biggie and Pac, and unfortunately they passed away, and there was no internet back then.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So regardless of whether there's the internet or not, that's a part of the culture. Like is this how the two artists choose to go about it if they're battling each other. We don't want it to get off of wax and people start to die over this. This is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So they have to know, and the people around them are blamed too. Like, they have to know, keep this on wax, keep this a battle. When you look at URL battles, when you look at the Queen of the Ring and all the underground MCs that battle each other, they keep it on just in that forum, that arena. It never spill out to, oh well, I'm gonna kill you, or you know what I'm saying. So that's what people got to remember. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the noise, block out the noise on social media and what their fan base is saying. If it's a battle, you keep it a battle and keep it on wax. But I would never they should never get rid of battling because Jay said so, or Jay is wiser now after all the battles he's been through.
Yeah, I can never see hip hop without battle. Like that shit. I mean, this is how Eminem came up. This is how Eminem got in the game, battling and showing that he could do it. And, 20 years later, the past tried to come back to haunt him, but it's battle. And, Kenny made a good point that battling is not for the weak. You know what I mean? When in the arena, even in URL, I mean, look at some of the stuff that these battle rappers say about each other. It's insane. So, and they go in on each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't watch many of battles where Disaster just destroyed dudes. Math Hoffa destroyed dudes. So, I don't know about necessarily without battle there would be no M, but it might have took them longer. It might have took him a lot longer to get in to really show him.
Eminem took on a whole magazine. Remember when he was battling Benzino? He took on the whole Source magazine, right? And Benzino has been known to do a lot of crooked stuff in the streets. Not one time he went after Eminem and his family. They kept it on wax.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's how it's supposed to be. You keep it on wax, even if it does get personal. You keep it on wax. Like the 50 Cent and T.I. thing, that could have been a whole verses.
Mm-hmm.
But versus they dropped the ball for that because they wanted to do Tank and Tyrese, but nobody asked.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the crazy part. Why are we doing Tank and Tyrese when A, they used to be in a group, B, Tank wrote most of their music. So why are we doing that?
Right.
Why are we doing that? Tank wrote two of the couple of hits that Tyrese has. Hits. So I don't get why they're doing that. Mm-hmm. And they had that whole crew, which that first album was a dope album. And I mean, I forgot the name of the crew. I know it was him, Tank, and Genuine, but they didn't even do anything.
TGT?
Tank, huh?
Yeah, you had a TGT with a Tank, Genuine, Tyrese?
Yes, that's what it was. I forgot the name, but I mean, nobody asked for that.
Mhm.
I know I didn't want it. If I wanted to see Tank go up against somebody,
Right.
I think he needs to go up against an R. Kelly versus Tyrese. You got one album,
He
bro.
would lose. He would lose.
I know he would lose,
lose.
but if you X out the
He
songs
would
that look, y'all
would
sleep
lose.
on Tank. Y'all sleep on Tank. That's all that I'm saying.
Man.
Y'all sleep on Tank.
Right.
Savage is a dope album. So that's one of my favorites from Tank. I think he could just play that album and kill half the R&B artists. But I'm saying it would be a better battle versus him and Tyrese. I'm trying to figure out what songs are you not going to use, Tyrese, that Tank didn't write for you. So, yeah, people have been battling for you. And again, KRS-One made The Bridge Is Over.
Right.
And it's still stinging people, what, 46 years later? Fat Joe said it recently that rappers were in their feelings about The Bridge Is Over. So, hell, that'd be funny as hell. Run DMC diss Drake on Sucker MC. They didn't even know. He wasn't even born yet when Sucker MC came out, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. Tyrese had about 2 hits, which was Sweet Lady and what was I don't even remember the other one.
Sweet Lady. How you gonna act like that? How you gonna act like that?
Oh yeah. That's probably about it.
I only know like 2 or 3 songs from him. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know any. I don't know any others because I don't think his album was that great.
Yeah.
Even then. Yeah. All right. Well, you 51. I'm 44. So you got a couple years on me. Speaking of, happy belated birthday to you. Skyborough's birthday the other day, and tomorrow is my son's birthday. So happy birthday to my son over there. He's shy as hell. Tyrese compares himself. Oh my! What he does? Tyrese compares himself to Teddy Pendergrass.
Pendergrass, wow.
Oh hell no! Somebody need to smack Tyrese in the back of the bald head. No way! No way! He doesn't even. He barely writes his own music.
Wow!
He doesn't even put together scripts or movies or nothing. Get out of here!
Right.
Pendergrass. Any other subject you want to touch on before we hit the top 5 albums? No April Fool's joke? Well, Wednesday.
Speaking of,
happy birthday. What?
Speaking of
no April Fool's joke.
The Tank and Tyrese battle, you had Ray J come out today. He did a video and he said that Tyrese was trash at the verses last night, and that Tyrese was worse than Ray J's performance at his verses. So he didn't like Tyrese's performance last night. I know there was people telling me that Tyrese at one point Tyrese had left the verses and then he came back. He left the verses to do an interview and then he came back. I don't know how true that is because I didn't watch it, but I'm like, that's
I didn't watch it either.
Yeah.
I'd rather just listen.
Supposedly he left the verses to do an interview, and then he came back, and that was bad. But I mean, Tyrese did that because he wasn't going to beat Tank anyway. He only got like 2 or 3 big songs really, so I'm not surprised he did something like that.
Yeah. I'm if that's true, I'm not surprised.
Ray J says that he's trash. Yeah, Ray J says that he's trash and his performance was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the crying he did when they were going to kick him out of Fast and Furious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Tyrese don't. And Fast and Furious is really the only thing he got. Waist Deep was corny as hell. And the only reason why he got, Baby Boys because Tupac passed. Other than that, he wouldn't even have that movie. So you can't even his movie catalog isn't even strong.
He played Jody good though. That was like
no doubt. I'm not saying that he didn't.
I thought he had a strong performance in it.
That's because Tank and and Trey Songz have a few songs together, but one of them is actually on the Savage album. I just can't remember the name of it. It's track 2. But that song is dope as hell, and I can't think of the name of it right now because in my head I'm thinking 96 Hove. The 30-year anniversary. I can't believe 30 years. That's insane. And then 25 years for the Blueprint. It's going to be 25 years for the Blueprint. That's crazy. And he dropped that on 9/11.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It's crazy. All right, so let's touch on Reasonable Doubt for a minute. Were you one of those ones that it was an instant classic for you, or did you have to sit on it for a couple of years before you decided? You know, because a lot of people picked up on Reasonable Doubt late. For me, we already know it was an instant classic. The second night, every track. No track is even close to being trash, but go ahead.
Right. I liked it. See, I never bought it. I never bought that album because I wasn't a huge Jay-Z fan at that point. Like I knew who he was, you know, I knew the songs, but I never ran out to get the album. But like listening to the album, it is a classic. You know, The Evils, that track that Primo produced was great. Can't Knock the Hustle with Mary J. Blige. Love that song. Feeling It. You know, that song was originally for Can't Blow, and Jay ended up getting that and you know, adding it to his first album, and you know, Ain't No Nigga with Foxy Brown. That was from the Nutty Professor soundtrack. That was a great collab with him and Foxy. So like, yeah, like I love the album. I think the album is like one of his best. I don't feel like it's his best though. I feel like he has more than one classic. But like I was late to like the J party because I wasn't really checking for him until like 98 when Hard Knock Life came out. That's when like I ran to the record store and bought that album. So that was like really my real introduction to Jay was 98. But 96 Reasonable Doubt, it was so many classics that came out that year that I just overlooked that one. I'm like, yeah, it was dope. But then I'm listening to like All Eyes on Me and the Fugees' Score and you know, Iron Man, you know what I'm saying? But Reasonable Doubt is definitely a classic album. It should be celebrated. I saw a video where there's a guy that he says that how come we always see Jay-Z celebrating his albums and we never see Nas celebrate It Was Written. It Was Written is gonna be 30 years this year for that album.
Yeah.
Where's the celebration for that album?
And that's his sophomore album. You know what I mean? And it was written is immaculate. I love it. I'm one of those ones where I like the sophomore just a tad bit better. You know, you could chew me on the comments all you want. I understand what Illmatic has done for the game, but to me, that's what really introduced me to Nas. Yes, I knew about the halftime show and all that, but Jay was just, as soon as I heard him, I was just like, okay, yeah, like this is my dude. And then the music videos, you have to remember a lot of our inspiration came from music videos as well. That's what really led you to want to go buy the album. And when I seen, you know, If I Ruled the World, the beginning of that, you know, that fake thugs, no love, they get the slug. And I just was like, okay, all right. I got to get Nas's It Was Written. So, you know, I ended up getting it and I love it. It's just one of those classic albums for me. And to celebrate 30 years is just insane. This is an inside. I don't know about Way Better. You also have Other Wild Allegations. Okay. Look, I understand. This is where the media. Listen, this is where the mediocre Jay fans come in. These are the mediocre. Anybody that says Volume 2 is their favorite Jay album, and I mean like favorite, I'm sorry, you are not a real Jay-Z fan.
Yeah.
That I think that falls more into the category of his super commercial. I'm just out to make money now. And it has more bad songs than it does good songs. Chew me out, don't care. I even got chewed out by Pain in the Ass by saying that, and I don't care. That's just my opinion. I am not a huge fan of Volume 2. I said this last weekend. This is the inside joke.
Wow.
Fuck you, Todd.
But
Only Todd knows what that means. Only Todd knows what this means, and I'm not saying it. Okay? That's an inside joke.
But volume 2, even though it was more commercial, volume 2 is the reason why he's a household name now. Because on Reasonable Doubt, nobody knew who he was. He was just a rapper.
I understand that, but that's when volume 2 is when he fully sold his soul. He fully sold his soul.
Okay.
Reasonable Doubt
now, if there was, let me ask you, if there was no volume, if there was no volume 2, if there was no Blueprint, you know who he would be right now? He would be fabulous. He would be fabulous right now. He just would be fabulous with a better debut album. You know what I'm saying? Like he needed that crossover hit that can bring people in. Oh, the Annie sample. I remember Annie. A lot of people remember going to see Annie when that came out back in the early 80s, right? He needed that familiarity. You know what I'm saying? So he had it with the Annie sample. It was catchy. You had the kids singing on the hook. That's what brought people in. Even the casual fan may not have been listening to rap, but they know that song. Oh, that's the Jay-Z song with the Annie sample. He needed that, and then everything else right after. So that's what made him a household name.
Yes,
no doubt.
Know,
you have, even with all the hits on there, Can't Knock the Hustle.
Every song is a hit. All right, no. When I say so, when I say sold his soul, listen, I'm not meaning that like how everybody else takes it. I say a lot of artists sold their soul, but I'm talking in a way of having that one project that was fully commercial. But I understand it. I mean, Benny has done it. Conway has done like. Everybody has done it. Everybody has that one album where they had to go fully commercial to get their name out there. Yes, if he would have stayed in the direction of, let's say, Volume 1, if he would have still came out with Volume 3, I still think Volume 3 would have made him the same household name that he is with Volume 2.
Yep.
And yes,
I think if anything, Big Pimpin' would have been like the big hit on there, but I don't think he would have been a household name with just Reasonable Doubt Volume 1 and then Volume 3. He would have been fabulous. He just would have been a better version of fabulous.
Bro, Volume 3 has better songs than Volume 2. What are you talking about? Volume 3 is better than Volume 2.
It don't have better hits than Volume 2. It might have better album cuts. I don't even think it has better album cuts than Volume 2. What hits on Volume 3 I don't even think Big Pimpin' is better than any hit on Volume 2. What songs are better on Volume? Give me 5 better songs on Volume 3 that's better than Volume 2. I could give you 5 big hits off of Volume 2.
Snoopy track.
That wasn't better. Hell no.
Oh my
God.
No. All right, maybe I'm just listen. You're thinking for the
you're
masses,
talking about but you're talking about the
fan. I'm thinking the fan way. To me, I'm
thinking for the head. But you're talking about, bro. You're talking about the Snoopy track, the different version with Juvenile is actually spitting, and you're not just on the hook.
No. Right? I'm talking about where Juvenile is doing the hook. What's on the album? Okay. NYPD.
I don't even think that song is better than anything on Volume 2.
Come and Get Me is better than most of the things on Volume 2. Yo, Reservoir Dogs.
Hell no.
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs was fire. What?
Ride or Die.
What had one of the best verses on that track.
Those are my favorite songs on the album. Ride or Die.
Okay.
And Reservoir Dogs, and only because of DMX, Money Cash Hoes, I prefer the remix better. But it's just such a weak hook. I can't.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. That's it. I'm not going to take it back. Reasonable
hear you.
Doubt is a classic. It's the number one album he's ever came
I-
out with. Blueprint is right behind it. American Gangster. And then I would say 444. But
Okay.
everything else in between.
But you
is
see,
just
like sometimes, like an artist, when they have that crossover song, it puts them in a different in a different audience, right? So
look,
for Nori,
get your money.
when he has Super Thug is like,
Go ahead.
yeah.
I get it.
I'm saying, like for artists like a Nori with Super Thug, and you see, like, that's like his biggest hit even now because it was catchy, the beat was different. That's a beat that Michael Jackson passed up on that. Like, he wanted that, he wanted to be on that. I'm like, I can't hear Michael Jackson on that joint, but Michael wanted that beat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's how huge it was for Nori, right? Sometimes you need that crossover hit to gain a different bracket, and that's what Jay did with Hard Knock Life. You know what I'm saying? That's what made him a household name. Like, my mom knew he was when that came out.
Yes, yeah, and I get that. And look, I'm not saying that. Just to me, Volume 2 is just not my favorite album. That's it. Like, I just felt like that's what he had to do to go famous and get that what he deserved. But I mean, Volume 1 is a great sophomore album. He's releasing not only his lyrical skill yet again, but he's also releasing his therapy. He did none of that on Volume 2. None of it. Everything was just commercial hit, commercial hit, commercial hit.
And you see why Volume 1 wasn't it didn't have no big hits off of that album. It's considered like an underrated album. People don't even talk about Volume 1.
I know,
that
and
was
he
one
hates
of his
himself.
best, but there's no big hits on that album.
Yeah, but
like,
he hates himself.
Remember, like, he's signed now. You're signed now. Yeah, but you're signed now to a major. You're signed to Def Jam. They want hits. Like, you got to produce for them, right? So once it's like, if he was on priority with that album, it'd be one thing. But you want Def Jam, so they still want numbers. So that album didn't sell. Volume 2 comes along, that makes him a household name.
Yeah, and you have to remember, everybody's different. You're a Mobb Deep fan, right? So, I'm a Mobb Deep fan. I will still hold strong. The Infamous is their better album. Some people don't agree with that. Some people say Hell on Earth is their better album. So you're always going to have differences, but that is the beauty of hip hop. People that are Eminem fans are going to say, I like Infamy better than I like Slim Shady, because officially now it's his, that's his first album. It wasn't sold in stores, so I still don't consider it, but whatever. And it's the same with DMX. I prefer Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood over It's Dark and Hell is Hot, but I'm not saying that It's Dark and Hell is Hot is a trash album. Far from it. The man put out 2 diamond records in 1 year. So, but everybody's different. Most people would tell me I'm crazy. Flesh of My Flesh was corny, and his first album is the best one. Okay. Yeah. But everybody's different. If we were all the same, we would all be fucking boring. None of us would be doing podcasts or YouTube or videos or anything. I don't care what people think about my music taste. Volume 2 is okay to me. It is not his greatest album. Period. I love you.
No, it's not his greatest album, but I do feel like he has more than one classic though. Like
yes, he definitely does.
It was a classic. Blueprint. Yeah.
Black Album. I love the Black Album. I really, if the Black Album was actually his See You Later farewell, I think he did a great job. but he can't leave it at 444.
Right. But it wasn't.
No, but he
Right.
can't leave it at 444. He's got to. And honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why or what he's going to talk about now. What is he going to talk about? That you're a billionaire? Like, that's the only thing that kind of scares me. What direction is this album going to go in? Because most of the hardcore fans didn't like 444. So I want to know where he's really going to go, in what direction. What are you going to say? You paid Lil Wayne's taxes? You helped this guy get out of his deal? You got Benny his Def Jam jail? Like, what are you going to say? You're a 2-time billionaire. So, I don't know.
There's always something to say.
Okay, I got somebody.
He can choose to be.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I think there's always things for him to say, like he can take this time to, choose a political stance on what's going on in the country if he chose to. But there's always, I mean, as an artist, they said he's always writing, he's always recording, so there's always things for him to say, to talk about. It's just, what is he going to talk about if he drops a new album?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like we know we're no longer going to get In My Lifetime.
No,
that era is over. So at this point forward, you are married man with 3 kids with Beyonce, but there's always things to talk about. I would like to see him show more of a political stance on things, and that may, I don't know if he's going to do that, but I think he is capable of doing that. So I would like to hear that.
I would too. You want to get into the top 5 classics real quick?
Yes.
What you got for number 5? And people,
now we're not including
Reasonable Doubt.
We're not including Reasonable Doubt.
And It Was Written. Anything else is fair game.
Okay.
But Reasonable Doubt and Written, I feel like they are solidified. Anybody that disagrees with that, I don't know. And again, if you guys are younger generation that come across this podcast, we're talking about albums from 1996. Now, please understand the culture was much different back then. But these albums and these artists that we are going to name are most likely probably still around. If not, they passed away tragically or unexpectedly. But these are albums that if you don't know about 1996, go back and at least listen to these 5 albums that we're going to mention, because it's important not only to learn about where hip hop starts or how the 90s was the hardest generation to get into, that these are classics to us, to me or him. I might not even agree with his list. I don't know what it is, and he don't know what mine is. So by all means, hit me off at number 5.
Number 5, I got the Fugees, The Score. The Score, just listening to their first album, Blunting on Reality, it was such a bad album. And they had to come out with the Nappy Heads remix to gain that momentum that followed them into the studio to do the Score album. And when you had production from Wyclef and from Jerry Wonder and Diamond D, this was their true album. Like, this is the album we were waiting for. Without Lauryn Hill, this album don't go 10 million. Like, Lauryn Hill was the meat and potatoes of the Score.
Yes.
You had joints like How Many Mics, Ready or Not, Fuji La. Fuji La, remember, that song was for Fat Joe. Fat Joe turned down Fuji La. And the Fugees end up getting it and making it a huge hit record.
Yes.
The hip hop sound of it, the R&B sound of it, the island sound of it, it was a masterpiece. And it was a complete 360 from Blunted on Reality to this album. And this, unfortunately, is their last album, but this is one of the best albums of 1996 for me. All
right. I mean, anybody that argues that, I don't know. I gotta question your generation of rap. That's all I gotta say. Because when Fuji La came out, man, that video was on heavy rotation, especially with the "Killing Me Softly."
Yes.
Lauryn Hill's voice was absolutely amazing, and there was no auto tune back then. That is all her. So it's just it was just different, especially at the time, to have the to have that the balls to redo that song alone.
Exactly.
It was a masterpiece. I got to give it that one. But for me, my number 5, I don't have the CD, but Lost Boys, the Jeeps, Lex Coupes, the Beamers, and the Benz, Legal Drug Money.
Yeah.
Not only is the album name one of the most clever album names in hip hop because they were drug dealers back in the days. So legal drug money because, they talk about drugs in their music to make money. So there's so many different ways to spin that title. I thought it was absolutely genius, especially at the time. The storytelling in that, especially my favorite song, Lifestyles of the Rich and Shameless.
Yeah.
Three different stories, 3 dope stories. It's just that album I was always bumping. Music Makes Me High. For me was a metaphor of instead of us teenagers getting high for real, listen to music to get that endorphin, to get that feeling of, you know what I mean? So Lost Boys to me is just, I love that album, man. Legal Drug Money. I think maybe there's 2 skips on that whole album. So yeah, and a lot of people forget about that album. A lot of people sleep on it, and the only song they do know is To the Jeeps, Lex Coupes, the Beamers. But that was also their breakout hit, which was Renee.
Yeah.
One of which was also on the Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood soundtrack. The video was dope. And again, storytelling at its finest. He's literally meeting a girl, falling in love with her, being at her apartment, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just immaculate. All verses, front to back, classic. So y'all got to check that album out if you don't know. Number 4, try what you got.
Number 4 is Outkast, AT My favorite Outkast album, Big Boy and Andre 3000. Production all by Organized Noise. Rest in peace to Rico Wade. This is a masterpiece of an album. The album concept, we used to have album concepts back in the day, kids. When we would make an album, and then the songs sound exactly like how the album cover looked. That's what we had an album concept back then. There's no album concepts no more.
No,
right?
No, it's just joints thrown together.
When the album booklet is a comic book, and it's a comic book of Big Boy and Andre as them feeling like they're being outcasted. They were like the aliens of the hip hop game, and all the songs, even the song titles went along with the album title, right? And when you have joints like Elevators, first single, classic, right? There was a segment on Hot 97 that Angie Martinez used to have every night called Battle of the Beats, where she would put 2 tracks up against each other, and you would call in and vote for the song, and Elevators won. You know what I'm saying? And it beat out all the New York artists' songs at that time and West Coast stuff to make it to one of the best songs on that station. And they had to play it because it was that dope, because the people called in and voted for it. You know what I'm saying? And when you had tracks like Growing Old, when you had tracks like the title track, AT Aliens, when you had tracks like Two Dope Boys in the Cadillac, this album is a masterpiece. From front to back, there's no skips on this album. Andre 3000 was in his bag lyrically. There was an old Source magazine. I forgot the issue, but I had the issue where they took a hip hop quotable for Andre from Over the Woods. So his verse from Over the Woods made hip hop quotable. You know what I'm saying? And that's how great it was. You had a remix for Jezebel with Babyface featured on that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. This album was a game changing album for Outkast because they slept on Southern Playlistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But this is my favorite Outkast album. This one of the best sophomore albums ever.
Yeah, that was actually in my top 5 list of sophomore albums as well.
Yeah.
From a group or an artist, because they really showed out, especially when Elevators hit.
Definitely.
Oh my God, that vibe and that the music video. Remember, they're running through the woods, and
Andre got on that thing.
Andre always has something crazy. I love Andre because he has always been himself.
Right.
I will give that. I mean, big boy too, but most people would be embarrassed to be next to somebody like Andre 3000, who is going to wear what he wants, say what he wants, perform with no shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Come out in chaps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With a cowboy hat and murder the concert.
They're giving you a show. It wasn't about what they were wearing. He could. I've seen him live, and he wore like the football pads and the wigs.
Yes,
I
remember seeing that.
They gave you a show. They didn't have like 100 people on stage doing nothing. They got a live band on there. They got dancers, singers. They doing everything. It was great.
Justin said he likes Master P, Ice Cream Man. I wasn't really on Master P until I heard I Got the Hookup. That was probably like where I started to listen to him more. I heard Ice Cream Man. Mm-hmm. As soon as I used to hear the ice cream jingle, I instantly shut the radio off.
I will say Ghetto Dope was fire. That was a dope album from Master P.
So my number 4, and if you only know them for one song, I'm very sorry, but MOP Firing Squad.
Definitely. That
album is so classic. I know a lot of people only know MOP because Annie Up was such a big hit.
Yeah.
The remix was even bigger.
Yep.
Remember when the remix came out? Remy Martin, Busta Rhymes, everybody killed that verse. But I'm telling you, Firing Squad, front to back. You had Dead and Gone, one of my favorite songs.
Yes.
The New Jack City, that was another one. I love that song.
Yep.
Born to Kill, Salute. And what's crazy is, again, this was storytelling at its finest.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't just coming out with something. This was like, we're going to give you a formula. Here's the story. Here's the background. It's just like Onyx. I still think one of their best storytelling songs was Veronica.
Veronica, yeah.
Oh my God, just killing it. So if you don't know who MOP is, again, or if you only know them for the one song, or maybe the remix they did with Jay-Z on the Blueprint 2 with You Don't Know What You're Gonna Do remix.
Yeah.
Trust me, Firing Squad. Yes, I do agree with that, Sam. He said that is better than the Warriors. I do agree with that. Warriors was a very weak. That was like at their low point.
I like that one too, though.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I never was. I like what was it for the family?
First Family for Life.
Yeah, First Family for Life. I like that one.
That was dope.
That's another one of my favorite albums by them. But Firing Squad, if you don't know, get up on it. Everybody got Amazon and all that shit. So boom. Number 3, Try What You Got.
Yes, Hell on Earth.
Did I click that at the perfect time? I knew it was coming.
Hell on Earth.
It was coming.
Now, listen, but the debate about if this is better than Infamous, I love both albums. Both albums are classic. Mm-hmm. If people feel like it's the best one, that's great. I feel like Mobb Deep have more than one classic to me. This is one of them, and this is to me like their true sophomore. We don't count Juvenile Hell. You know what I'm saying? This is their true sophomore one.
Yeah.
And this at a time when Pac was still alive and before Pac died, he was dissing everybody, Jay-Z, Bad Boy, Mobb Deep, the Brat, whoever. And after Pac died, they had a song called Drop a Gem, and they went at Pac without saying his name. They played it on the radio, and then they took it off of playing it on the radio because Pac had just passed away. Yeah. But they went at Pac, and it wasn't too many people on the East Coast that was going at Pac at that time. A lot of cats on the East Coast was afraid of Tupac, and
Yeah.
they'll deny it. But I was there. I remember. You know what I'm saying? And Mob was one of those people. And CNN also, they had a joint called LALA on the War Report. They went at the West Coast.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like Queensbridge was not afraid of Tupac. And you know, the production, you know, this is Havoc coming off of the Infamous and the success of that, and him being in his bag now, and him being mentored by Lost Professor and Q-Tip, and he went on his own and gave us a masterpiece with the production. And you got joints like Extortion featuring Method Man, one of Method Man's best features, and you got the title track Hell on Earth was a single that was fire. You know, God Part 3. It gave me Scarface vibes when I hear that the melody for that. You know, you got bro, it's Still Shining. Still Shining, they played on the radio like that was a single. That was my joint, Still Shining. There's so many bangs on this album, you know, and they were in a bag. This is like a horrorcore album. It was real dark, it was real moody.
Yes.
I loved it. Like Prodigy was in his bag lyrically on here. This is a 5 mic classic. So I have no problem with people saying this is the best Mobb Deep album or Infamous. They both classics to me.
Yeah. You got Sam, he say he loves Hell on Earth, and God Part 3 is fire.
Yes.
And you know what's crazy is that, first of all, I have to say this, and I know this is gonna hurt your heart.
Uh-oh.
But me and Ray were just talking about this earlier because me and Ray were talking on the phone. Shout out to you, gotta respect. Which he's doing his thing tomorrow. I wish him the best of luck of that.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I heard you gonna be there, so you know, fuck you. If I lived closer, brother, I would definitely be there to represent Jers, but you know, much respect to him, man. He's finally getting to do that. I will be buying the physical copy when it comes out, 2 of them, and I'm gonna make Ray sign one for me before he even sends it. So I gotta give him love and a shout out.
Yeah.
Also, when Prodigy battled Joe Buttons and went at Joe Buttons, Joe killed him. Blood on the Wall was immaculate. So I gotta say that. But the whole thing with Prodigy and Jay is because he got mad when, you know, New York lost feeling when Snoop came through and crushed the buildings. That pissed off Prodigy, but what Prodigy didn't know is that Jay actually had a Tupac diss and decided not to release it because he had passed away. And to me, that was the more respectful thing. But it also did make Jay look like a bitch in the East Coast eyes because he came at the West Coast after everything was said and done.
Right.
I think he should have just left it alone.
Exactly.
In my opinion, he should have just left it alone. He shouldn't even have never said he had a Tupac diss and never came out with it. And it's fire. You can find it on YouTube.
Right.
It sounds very dated. Very dated. I'm not gonna lie, but that was back then. That was 95, 96?
Yeah.
So it's very dated, but the lyrics are still there. Not so much the beat.
Right.
My number 3, you dropping CDs, violation, son. My number 3, it should be no shocker. One of my favorites out of the entire Wu-Tang Clan, Ghostface Killer, Iron Man. And I mean, I know he said that he was in a dark place when he made this album, but if he was in a dark place, goddamn, because I absolutely love Winter Wars, Daytona 500, Motherless Child, All That I Got Is You, one of the most beautiful songs that he has ever made. Better than anything that he's had on Pretty Tony. I know he loves to say that Pretty Tony was his like swagger album, but man, Assassination Day, and like, you know, besides Raekwon, because Raekwon was a heavy on this, just like he was on Only Built for Cuban Links. Just everything about this album, front to back, is just so immaculate. I loved everything about it. You know, RZA really doing his thing. He was in his bag, but Iron Man, it's just a classic. I don't think anybody can say that it's not.
Well,
You know
there is one person that we know that said that.
what? That is not a classic.
Yes.
Who?
Before I got on here, Unc, I don't know if he's still here, but Unc had gave me a call. He don't think it was great. He don't think it was a great album. I'm like, hey,
Hey
I
man, everybody different. You know what I mean? But as far as like, I can't deny Motherless Child. I can't deny Daytona 5. As soon as I heard the beat, dun, 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 you just wanted to dance.
Yeah.
Winter Wars, again, another song that made it on the Don't Be a Menace to South Central soundtrack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just listening to some of these soundtracks to movies like we did back in the days.
Right.
Again, they were sticking with concepts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so a lot of the soundtracks that came out for back then on black movies or, hood movies, you actually wanted to go back and experience what that group or what that artist sounds like.
Right.
Because all you heard was that one.
Right.
That's what got me curious about Capadonna was the Winter Wars verse.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's that?
Right.
You know, and then he was popping up in Ice Cream and all. So, and then Daytona 500.
Yeah.
So just classic album.
Oh, yeah.
What you got for number 2?
Number 2, I got De La Soul, Stakes is High, a classic album. This is like, for years, I felt like De La Soul, like lyrically, they were very, complex with their rhymes. A lot of that stuff when I was younger went over my head. And then they had to like really simplify their rhymes with this album, and having Jay Dilla on the production as well, with the Stakes is High title track was amazing. My personal favorite was The Business with Common, when he broke down the ins and outs of the business, what that they were going through, and Common killed it lyrically.
Yeah.
You have Long Island Wildin'. You have once again Super MCs. It's So Easy. The True Goy solo track. Rest in peace to True Goy. Dave killed it. The whole album was phenomenal. Mos Def first appearances on this album. And he's like a phenomenal artist now, so many years later. Just everything about it was this was like they're coming back from 1993 when they dropped Balloon Mind State.
Mm-hmm.
And they come back in 96 with a masterpiece of an album. They still had issues with Tommy Boy. I felt like Tommy Boy should have had videos for The Business, because I was being played as a single. There's no video for that. The joint with Jeanne for more, very danceable track. You could throw that on at a cookout or a party. I loved it. I think this is again, like De La Soul has many classics. If somebody say this is their best album, I have no problems with that. I feel like they first 4 easily are their classics or their best albums, and they still putting out heat. Like last year, they gave us Cabin in the Woods. It was one of the best rap albums of 2025. I loved it. I loved the whole homage that they paid for Dave and True Goy, and it was great. So they still putting out heat now after 30 something years, and this is one of my favorites of 96.
Yeah. Hey man, I can't. Anybody that don't like De La Soul, just their vibe alone, it can put you in such a good mood. It can put you in different directions. But they're one of the few, because when I'm working, I have different like mixes for depending on how I feel on my day. Yeah. I got my Sade mix when I'm feeling real down, and listen, I love Sade, man. I ain't never gonna take that back.
I love Sade too.
She has made more classic albums, her and her band, than a lot of the most famous artists.
Yeah.
So, but and De La Soul is always in that feel good vibe for me, and they're always in that mix, because I got my 90s feel good songs, and them being just up in that upper tier level, you can't deny them, man. Their first 4 is definitely some Nick. Hey man, listen, Kenny, you better wait in line, because me and my wife will handle that. Do hip hop soundtracks next. We could definitely do that for y'all. We could definitely do that for y'all. I'll probably give you a top 5, because I mean, I think Juice would like would be very overrated now.
You think
I
so?
think I think that I would have to go back and listen to. I mean, I haven't listened to the Juice soundtrack
Right.
in decades.
Mhm.
But like I think what we found dope back then might be a little overrated now, or not as dope as we remember.
Right.
But we can definitely do that for y'all.
Yeah.
Yes. I even love her greatest hits album.
Yes. I love that.
Yes. And it's only like a 12 tracker. It's not even really like her hit. It's just, her regular smooth stuff.
Right.
But my number 2, for some reason, to hip hop heads, this is not going to be a surprise. But to everybody else, I'm tired of seeing my man getting pushed down to this lower tier, especially lately with all the freestyles he's been coming out with.
Right.
And try. I think you know where I'm going with this one, but Redman, Muddy Waters
Yes.
is one of my favorite albums to come out of '96, and not only is his, oh my God, Justin, are you reading our minds? Jesus Christ. Well, for me, what always made, except for, let's get Dark Side out of there, please. Try.
I didn't think it was great. It's okay.
Yeah, no,
I don't think it's a classic.
I was not. I did not like that album, but
So you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Yeah, I know. But Muddy Waters, to me, he just knows how to put together an album, but not only just songs, but even the intros, the outros, the middle intros, always flows like perfectly right into that next song, and you just, man, Muddy Waters to me doesn't have a skippable track. Are there tracks I'm sick of? Of course. Whatever Man was played so much on BET. I remember Rock the Spot was played a lot. Yeah. Pick It Up was played a lot on the radio. Yeah. So, I mean, when it comes to that, I always feel like you have to give those tracks a skip, especially from us. Whenever they had like the BET countdowns, it was always the same songs.
Same songs, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you kind of, oh yes, Sam, Doc's the Name. Definitely. I love that album too. Again, another album that from beginning to end, you have to even listen to the intros, the middle intros, the outros, because it just all blends so well together.
Yeah.
It's just, he knows how to make an album. And I know nobody really mentioned it, but I know me and you said it on one of our prior episodes. Muddy Waters 2 is a phenomenal
Definitely.
Sequel.
Yeah.
It's great. I loved it. I had so much fun with it. It was great. I had it on heavy rotation that whole Friday, and he didn't even tell anybody he was letting it out. He just dropped it. And I got the alert, and I'm like, Redman, Muddy Waters 2? What is this?
Nah, I mean, he was doing freestyles here and there, and like he was planning it for like 10. It seemed like 10 years he was planning it.
Yeah,
but I never thought it would actually come out, but it actually came out, and it was good.
Yeah, but Doc's the Name. I mean, that album came out in 99 or 2000?
98 that came out.
98? Okay, yeah, I knew it was close. Yeah. But yes, very immaculate album as well. What is your number one, because I think I'm going to be heavily surprised.
My number one is Tupac, All Eyes on Me, one of the best rap double albums ever. And this is Pac when he just came out of jail. He had a case, the rape case or whatever. He was in jail. He was in jail for Me Against the World, which is his best album. And it's still they got promoted by his label, did numbers, his best album. Suge Knight gets him out of jail. He comes home to California. And he goes on a rampage with this album against the East Coast. And from the first track, Ambitions as a Rider, that set the tone. That's one of my favorite songs on this album. The production from Daz and DJ Quick. Devontae Swing from Jodeci is even on here. Dr. Dre. It was a classic album. It's still a classic. And I hear a lot of people say that the first disc is better than the second one. I think they're both equally good.
Yeah. I've heard that.
I don't know where people get that from. I'm like, bro, both albums are fire. This is a classic double album. It easily hits on the second album. You know what I'm saying? Trading War Stories with the Outlaws. one of my favorites. What's Your Phone Number, where he sampled the time track was dope. You had How Do You Want It with Jodeci, fire.
How do you feel?
You know what I'm saying? All About You with Nate Dogg, rest in peace, and the Outlaws killed it. You know what I'm saying? Like every track on California Love, I loved it. I think it's one of the best rap double albums ever, top 5 easily. You know, rest in peace to Tupac.
Yeah, and that was actually my number one. No matter how much, even if you're not a huge Pac fan, this is the one album, if not any other. This is the one album that everybody can agree with how dope it is. The production, again, Thug Passion, Picture Me Rolling. I mean, I remember people going down the street and that's all you heard. You know, and then All Eyes on Me and that beat didn't, you know, it just, you know, and I've heard that, you know, disc 1 is better than disc 2 thing too, and I agree with you. I definitely think that both of them just have like their special blends, man, and it's a well put together. For being Rush, from what I heard, Pac made that album in a very short period of time. I think it was a week or 2.
And he had the original title was Euthanasia. He had Euthanasia. He changed it to All Eyes on Me, but they said like as soon as he went to the studio from jail, he was recording like every day, like 7 tracks a day. Like, his work ethic was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Salute. We just talked about you. We just talked about you. We just gave you the shout out for tomorrow. The best of luck.
Yes.
You know, finally getting that debut going, and you know, getting that physical copy. You signing me a copy and send it out. But you know, very proud of you, very happy for you, brother. I'm glad to see. And yes, West Side Connection was a good. It's a good album. I am just not. For me, I'm not a huge Mac 10 fan. I was a very heavy on Ice Cube at that time, so that's why I did enjoy the album. But Mac 10, he was always hit or miss for me. But yeah, back to Pac. No matter if you ask anybody in the streets, even if they're not hip hop heads, but they still know Pac. All Eyes on Me, Ambitious of a Rider, Thug. What was the one?
Thug Passion.
Thug Passion, yeah. Like all those are ones that people will name right off the top of their head. You know, Picture Me Rolling. Those are all, and it's all from the same album. And that's what some people don't even know. That's from the same album. So it's so. It's just one of those albums that you can't deny. Even if you swear up and down, left and right, you hate Tupac, and I'm a Biggie fan. There's no time to be choosy on that. That is, they are both equally. Life After Death and All Eyes on Me are two of the greatest double CDs, period. I'll argue that with anybody. And I've heard that crazy theory with Big, same thing. Disc 1 is better than disc 2. And I'm like, yo, they're all great songs. They're all immaculate. And I'm one of those sophomore cats. I like Life After Death more than I like Ready to Die. But, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Also, I got to give an honorable mention. I loved Lil' Kim, Hardcore. Very highly anticipated album. Jay was on there. You know, it just, that album, Drugs, is my favorite song on there. And then track 11, Mafia Land. Yes. Yo, I mean, and then just the intro, even the intro is funny. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, she just came right in. You got it going on. What? You know what I'm saying? It's just, she built that energy. And I know Foxy dropped her album on the same year, but I don't think it was as impactful as Lil' Kim and what she did. I think her album was definitely a classic.
96,
I agree with you, Ken.
Honorable mention, I'm gonna say OGC, The Storm, Boot Camp Click, Rain Wonder, Louisville Slugger, Top Dog. Their
Oh,
best album.
Razzcast.
Huh?
I liked Razzcast's album too.
Razzcast So Nice. Great
Yes,
album.
I like that, and I love the album cover. The album cover is what got me. With him sitting in the jail cell and the bars are frozen.
Mhm.
That's another good one.
It's so many. Like 96 was just a great year. It was a golden year for hip hop.
I say 96. Well, for me, 96 and I think 98 were probably like my prime 90s years. I know cats that are a little bit older, more towards their 50s or up, will probably say the early 90s because that was like more their rap generation. But for me, it was 96 and 98.
Yeah.
I think 98 was another fantastic year for albums.
Yeah.
So
94, 95, 96, 98, even 97. 97 was like the year of Puff, but there was some classics that came out in 97 as well. But like I love, like, that's why the 90s, we hold the 90s to a higher standard and call it the golden era, because everything coming out was classic. It wasn't nothing that was too mediocre out there. Everything else, that it was like a competition. When you had Mobb Deep coming out, you can have Iron Man Ghostface coming out with Iron Man, and then OGC comes out, and then everybody else like Kim and Foxy. That's their best albums to me. Like, Nana, her best album. Hardcore is Kim's best album.
Yeah, and I love the remix that she did with Jay. When they remixed that song from the old classic. I can't even think of the name because I'm getting to that point. But
Ain't No Nigga?
No, not that one. The one that was on her "I'll Be Good."
That's from Renee and Angela. Yeah, the Renee and Angela.
Yeah. That was
Helter Skelter, Beastie Boys, Hello Nasty, classic.
Helter Skelter. Yeah, his album was highly anticipated at that time, but I think now it's pushed more towards the bottom and not remembered too much. But
you think so? Well, I'm gonna tell you, I feel like the first wave of boot camp releases with Helter Skelter first album, Into the Stage, The Shining, and OGC first album, that's their best shit. That's their best shit with their first. When you look at their sophomore albums, it wasn't that good. And I love boot camp, but their second wave wasn't as good as the first wave.
Yeah, and I know, Justin, you mentioned Busta The Coming. Yes, that was definitely which sounded real weird when I just said that. But again, just it was such a fantastic year. And anybody that says that The Coming wasn't a dope album, I don't know.
That
I just
intro
don't know.
alone, the intro done narrated by Lord Have Mercy, one of the best intros ever for an album.
Yeah. Just craziness. And just again, a lot of that too, for our generation, it was heavy inspiration on music videos, promotions, flyers everywhere, even in because I was doing my shit and traveling back and forth to Connecticut and Mass. And even back then, bus stations had the posters up for New York artists, so we always had something in our face. That was our social media.
Right.
Remember you would go to a phone booth and you would have stickers of you would have the stickers of Razzcast, Busta Rhymes coming out, Tribe Called Quest, all these LL Cool J dropping. Like, it was just so crazy to think back then. And then the graffiti, graffiti was a heavy thing in Massachusetts. So you would go under bridges and you would see murals of Eazy-E or Mos Def and like just crazy shit.
Yeah. So
and then they started cleaning up Springfield a lot, but like they always try to do. But yeah, I agree, Sam. I think we had this discussion last week that people are saying that album is like not good, and I'm like, what do you mean Busta doesn't have a classic? That is a classic.
Yeah.
But again, I loved him on the remix to LL Cool J's joint.
Which one was that?
No, Flavor in Your Ear. I'm sorry.
Oh, Flavor in the Ear,
Yo,
yes.
when he came out with that, man, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, I love Busta, man. I always have. He's never really disappointed me on a feature.
Facts.
Albums, he's disappointed me. You know, there's a lot, but 4 classics.
I say he got 3.
I would say he got 3.
I like he has some underrated. Anarchy was good, but I don't think it's a classic though. Is it underrated? And then you got the 2000 stuff, Genesis, and It Ain't Safe No More, and all that.
Yeah, but
I mean, Big Bang. I've heard people say Big Bang was a classic. I thought Big Bang was good. That's like the Aftermath album, though.
Is that the one where Eminem and him go? He got the song where they go crazy.
He had a touch it. He had that joint on Big Bang.
I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, that's like the only one he did on Aftermath, and then he left.
I haven't heard that on any level. Extracted.
That's ELE's best one. That's the one with the Janet track.
Yeah.
What's it gonna be? You got Give Me Some More. He had some
Maybe if you give it to me.
You know what I'm saying? He had a collaboration with Black Sabbath. They did over This Means War, the Iron Man track.
Oh yeah. Just crazy amounts of great albums that came out in 96. We got to do this for 97 next year because, again, we should do this for a ranking of every year. 30 30 years.
30 years for a lifetime of death.
And, like some of them, like I was listening to Tupac earlier, All Eyes on Me, because, when we talk about these things, I like to go through the albums again since Stove Gods didn't drop.
Right.
And I'm just thinking in my head, like, it sounds like today. It's just, I have no words. It's just still mind blowing to me how something from 96 can still sound so relevant in today's, life.
Right.
Same way it was written, and I listen to Reasonable Doubt, but I listen to Reasonable Doubt all the damn time. So it just a great year. Anything you want to say? By the way, we need pictures. We want to see tomorrow for Ray.
Definitely.
Again, shout out to him.
Yes.
Finally doing this thing with that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say before we head out of here besides subscribe to all of our channels?
Yes, well, do that, please. And thank you everybody for the birthday love. I appreciate it. It's great to see another year. And definitely subscribe to our channel. We're definitely trying to make this the best show on Friday nights for everybody to just come through and chill and just have great discussions with us.
And speak your mind. You're in the chat. Nobody's going at anybody. And trust me, we got, Justin, he's real good at, he ain't going to let people go wilding out on other people on some ridiculous shit. So, we are Sam said happy birthday.
Appreciate it.
Late birthday, but hey, man, I had to show him love. And then again tomorrow I'll be making my son a cake and shit, and it's crazy. He's 15 years old. Yeah. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? And then next month, my 25. My other son turns 25, so it's crazy. But yeah, subscribe to all our channels. We really appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us. We are looking to get guests. We keep getting, excuses, but hey, we gonna get some of them up here. But anyways, much love to y'all. We're gonna head out, and we will see y'all next week. Carrot cake. No. My son's a pistachio man. The same with me. I love pistachio cake, man. And confetti cake. Confetti, man, just throw all them sprinkles in that shit.
I gotta go with the Junior's cheesecake, but I ain't walking over no bridge for that. But cheesecake is the best.
I never had that, but obviously, if Puff made him, appreciate you though, Sam, chilling with us and speaking your mind again. This is what we love. We love to hear y'all. We all have wild takes, and none of us are the same, and it's great. I love it. Even if you don't agree with us, still love you. Thanks for swinging by. But German chocolate cake. Yeah, see, we will see y'all